Welcome back to Fighting with Friends and still the Undisputed African Fighting Podcast Champion of the World. This is your UFC News, and with me today is the reigning defending Undisputed being Champion of the World, Chief Analyst, that shit, but guy.
Just gets better and better every time, bro. I love it.
WPG, this is our UFC News segment. Of course, all the rages around the card, or potential card happening at the White House, of course, with the chinks still being ironed out there. But yeah, PG, without any further ado, take us to our first slide. So yeah, like I said, White House event, we've had a lot of former champions come out wanting to be part of the event. So yeah, I guess just give us your thoughts about the event itself, and yeah, we'll get into who is going to be involved or potentially involved with later.
So this. I'm sure everybody knows by now. This announcement was made by Donald Trump last Friday on the 4th of July, 2025, obviously on American Independence Day. And at first I was like, this can't be real. This is obviously just a piss take because we're celebrating American independence. It's just like, they're just joshing here. They're just joshing everybody. But it turns out like this might actually be a thing next year, July 4th, 2026. And I took some time to get some feedback from some of the guys on YouTube to hear what they have to say. Some of the American citizens as well. And it sounds like everyone isn't really that keen on the card because they're not sure if this is actually possible and if it's going to happen, and also what will that card look like. And I think it's kind of split down the middle. There's like those who are for it and those who aren't for it. And look, I think it's likely, considering that the relationship between Dana White and Donald Trump. I think it's quite likely this could possibly happen. And if it does happen, I just kind of wonder what's this card going to look like. You know what I mean? At the moment, I'm leaning towards it actually going to happen. And I'm kind of scratching my head to think like, what's this card going to look like? And you mentioned earlier that some of the UFC former champions that are sort of kind of in limbo, retired, not retired, have put their name or responded to this announcement. So that kind of makes me feel like this could be very possible. And speaking of those announcements, it was Conor McGregor was one of the guys. July 4th next year is a Saturday, so that's usually the day when UFC does the events regarding the President Trump's UFC White House event. I'll be regaining President of Ireland under the 1 year when I step out in the lawns of the White House to toe down. So that's mad, bro. Like, you asked this question a few months ago, or was it a month ago? With Conor McGregor punched some dude in the club. And you asked, will he fight again? And I was like, you know what? I don't know, but I mean, with the kind of status that he has in the UFC and all these things, it's if the money's right and the promotion is correct, it might happen. But yeah, honestly, Eddie, just to kind of give you a short answer about this whole event, I have got a feeling it's gonna happen. I just wonder what's gonna be sold like. Maybe Good is talking about UK versus US. I don't know. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be like UFC 300 on steroids, bro. Basically, because they have to make. If it's gonna be at the White House, it has to be the biggest event the UFC has ever put together. So, I think from top to bottom, from early prelims to main event, it's gonna be big fights if it does happen. But I think logistically, bro, it's gonna be a nightmare because it's like, who's gonna be invited to this event? Like, how much are tickets gonna be? Security is gonna have to be off the charts, bro. You're gonna have to have like snipers on the roofs and helicopters and shit all flying around. So I think it's a logistical nightmare. But yeah, Dana White has proven that he can get these types of things done. He put on events during COVID, so he makes shit happen. And like you said, he's got a very cozy relationship with Donald Trump, so that's not gonna be a problem. So yeah, as a fight fan and just for the pure spectacle of it, I'm all for it, but I think because again, I think it's gonna be, if they do put it on, it's gonna be a massive event and there's gonna be some really banging fights. And at the end of the day, that's all I really want to see. So, regardless of where it is, put in a good event, and yeah, you'll have my vote for sure.
Yeah, now speaking of that, now there's people also throwing out names about what the fight card could look like, and what's this? Wasteful Death on X. This is obviously a made up fight card, but just have a look at that. What do you make of that? Well, Johnny Bone Jones announced that he's back in the testing pool. He's might be training again. It's all kind of mad as all this is playing out. Conor McGregor, you asked if they would ever fight, if he would ever fight again. There's Michael Chandler. So have a look at
They got
at
Nate
those.
Diaz on the card, bro, against Gilbert Burns, which is ridiculous. But I think some of these fights, I mean, they of course these are the fights everybody wants to see, most of them
Yeah.
anyway, especially the Aspinall Jones fight. But I think like Strickland Adesanya would most likely happen before that.
Mm,
Um, Same with O'Malley Sandhagen. I think.
yeah.
I mean that might be possible. So yeah, I mean these are the kinds of fights I definitely want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, from top to bottom, it looks like a banger, bro. So, like I said, if they do put on the event, it's gonna be something like
Yeah.
this. So, yeah, again, bro, I think it's like very over the top, but again, I just want to see the best fights, bro. So,
Mm,
fuck it
mm.
anyway. Let's go.
No, I completely agree. That's why we fight fans. You know, we like the sport. We like high level matches, and that's what we want to see. And hopefully they can do that. I feel like the squad. It's going to be quite interesting how they do this together because it is on a day that celebrates the USA's independence. So, and USA needs a champion, or at least a man champion. They've got the Kelly Addison there in the UFC as an American champion. And for some reason, even the American people in the American media forget this. So, like, oh yeah, I was watching Adol Wani's one, and they forgot that Kelly Addison's the champion, and I was thinking, but just won the
Mm,
belt like a month ago.
yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
so I was keen to see what matchups they're gonna make there. You know what I mean? Yeah, let's see,
I
let's
don't know
see.
about that Nate Diaz, Gilbert Burns, bro. I don't know
Yeah,
about
me
that
too,
fight,
me too, me too.
but yeah,
What
everything
do
else
you
I would say go for it.
What do you make of John Jones? I have it on screen now. His responses to it, where they're fighting at the White House, just re-entered the testing pool. That lasted for about 2 weeks. Figured that we keep
Yeah.
everyone's options open. It feels nice to be the hunter and not the hunted. What do you make of all of this? Is he teasing again? Because I mean, let's be honest. This last since he fought Stipe has been such a roller coaster with John Jones. What's your buzz on that?
I got nothing nice to say about John Jones, bro. Nothing nice at all. This is just it's classic John Jones, bro. He just can't handle when he's not the center of attention, and
Yeah,
such a big event coming out. It's like now all of a sudden he wants to come back after stringing us along for such a long time. So I'm gonna
yeah,
come straight out and say it, bro. Fuck John Jones, bro. I hope I never see him again. Um, Even if it is for the Tom Aspinall fight, he's washed, bruh. Because if he loses now, he's just gonna say, "Oh yeah, I'm 40 years old or whatever it is. I'm old,
yeah.
past my prime." So fuck John Jones, bruh. Get him out of here. Never want to see him fight again. Even if it is at the White House, bruh. Fuck that shit. But if he does fight, I just hope Tom Aspinall absolutely whoops him, like
Yeah.
beats him to a pulp, bruh, and just humiliates him on the night and gives him the send off that he deserves after what he's put all of us through over the last few months. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm sorry, but I just got nothing nice to say about the guy.
Yeah.
Same goes for Conor McGregor. So
Bro,
yeah,
I'm in the
man.
same pool as you, bro. I'm not. Yeah, you just obviously cut it more bluntly than I am, but I'm I'm agreeing with your sentiments as well. Which is why we can now, leave it for the comment section. If people tell us what their thoughts are about the White House fight card. Eddie, let's take us away for the fight night for this weekend.
All right, bruh. So we do have a fight night card coming up this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. It's UFC Fight Night, Lewis versus Teixeira, and this is taking place, I believe,
Nashville,
at Nashville. What time? 2, 3 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. South
3
African
a.m.
time.
3 a.m.
3 a.m.
South
South
Africa.
African time. As you can hear, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not too excited about the card. There's not too much going on. Of course, we do have the Black Beast. So
Mhm.
yeah, BG, I guess without any further ado, we shall begin.
At the top of the card, let's go.
Exactly, bruh. So yeah, we do have the Black Beast. Not really too much you need to say about him. The most knockouts in UFC history. He is the number 9 heavyweight. He's 28, 12, 23 wins by KO. He's got 9 first round finishes. Last time out, he beat Rodrigo Nascimento by third round KO. He's coming up against the undefeated Tallison Teixeira, who is 8-0 in the UFC. 7 wins by KO, 1 by sub. He's got eight first round finishes, so all of his finishes coming in the first round, and he beat our boy Justin Tafel by first round KO in his last fight. So yeah, interesting card in general. But BG, give us your
Yeah,
thoughts here on the main event, bro.
yeah, yeah. Look, I'm not gonna lie. I was also like not that excited about the fight card, but when I was putting my notes together for it, I was thinking, geez, all these names that you're actually like, guys have been in the UFC for quite some time. Well, obviously not Tallison Teixeira. He only had 2 fights. This is going to be his second fight, but a lot of the other names have been fighting around and they've been on cards and quite consistent. So I was like, okay, maybe there's a watch here. Still not super hyped for the card, but I mean, there's some fights that I think are quite interesting, and this is one of them. Derrick Lewis is obviously very dangerous, right? I just got the feeling he's going to get killed in this fight. To be honest with you, I think Tallison Teixeira is going to use that height, utilize that jab and that overhands, and just strike with more dynamicness in comparison to Derrick Lewis. Derrick Lewis, you know what he's going to give you, and at this point, he's even more slower than what he was in the past when he was, you know, the talk of the town. I just feel like his character is what really got him to the dance, rather
Yeah.
than the fight style. You know what I mean? I mean, okay, granted, he's been in some wars with some fun guys and knocked out some top names, and I think he's got the most knockouts in UFC history at heavyweight division.
He does.
Mistaken.
He does.
So he's
In
like,
the entire organization, bro.
is it?
Hmm.
Now look at that. So he's obviously putting people away, and that kind of shows you how dangerous he is, right? But when you see him go up against fighters that can strike and know how to beat him and know how to overwhelm him with barrage of strikes and keep him at bay and make him miss, maybe even take him down every so now and then, he does struggle. He struggles against those kind of fighters, the Volkovs of the world and so on. So Tallison Teixeira is going to come into this one, just going to show why he's that new breed now, and the heavyweight division probably needs a star, and these youngsters that's coming into it is going to obviously drop at the bite for that. They're going to be like, "Yay, we're going to be that star. We want to be the one to take out Tom Aspinall." So I think Teixeira being undefeated and finishing all of his fights makes him a very very dangerous opponent. And I think Derrick Lewis is going to probably take a beating here.
Yeah, I think you can definitely bet this one not to go the distance. But yeah, I think when it's like you said, when Derrick Lewis comes up against a certain kind of echelon of competition, he does struggle. I think anybody who has a slightest bit of technique or wrestling, he has a super hard time. So yeah, I think this is going to be one of those matches, but I'll of course be backing Derrick Lewis as always, and I hope he does get the knockout. So yeah, let's go Black Beast. But
It's
not
likely.
really too optimistic about the result for me, bruh. So yeah, we can keep it moving then, and we'll go to some welterweight here, and we have Wonderboy, the return of Wonderboy, who is still ranked at number 12, if you can believe that, in the welterweight division. He's 17-8-1. And the last time he fought was against Joaquin Buckley, who has fought twice since then. So that just gives you some indication as to how active Wonderboy is. He's about 38 years old now, maybe even older, if I remember well. But anyway, he's coming up against Gabriel Bonfim, whose record is 17-1. He's got 3 wins by KO, 13 by sub. So look out for that. He's on a 2-fight streak, and the last time out he beat Chaos Williams by second round sub. So yeah, we kind of know what Wonderboy is about, and we know that he does struggle against the wrestlers. Bonfim, most of his wins coming by sub. That, I mean, tells a story in itself. But PG, what can you tell us about this one, bro?
I think it's going to be a striking match, even though Bonfim is going to try and take it to the ground, right? I've seen some of the fights of late of the Bonfim brothers, and they really are starting to strike a bit more in their fights and then keep it on the feet for as long as possible. Granted, it's very dangerous because, I mean, then it's not their forte, but they're looking like they want to, stand and bang these days. Obviously, in this fight, if Gabriel Bonfim's done his tape, he's obviously going to go like, listen, it's not strike with this guy. We know what he's going to do. I mean, that's everybody that's gonna fight Wonderboy Thompson is gonna have to obviously establish that game plan and be like wrestle immediately because you don't want to fight with him. And it's a lot easier said than done. Let's be real. Not everyone's able to do it. He's older. It's a different Wonderboy Thompson. He's obviously a lot slower than what he was in the past. He's less killer instinct than what he was before, but he's still a top athlete, still a really good fighter. It's hard to bet against Thompson. I want to go Gabriel Bonfim. I'm not gonna lie. I think because of the younger character here, the fighter, he should have more vibrance to him. But I just don't know. I think Wonderboy is just gonna show him why he's black belt, bro. Why Wonderboy he's Wonderboy. I think he's gonna school this kid for 3 rounds, and as long as he doesn't get taken down, I think Wonderboy is gonna showcase. If Wonderboy can defend the takedown in the first round, and defend it in a way that doesn't have to require that much energy for him, I think Wonderboy is going to set himself up for a good chance to be doing the fight, because that will discourage Bonfim. Unless Bonfim is just testing the waters, and not really committing to a full takedown, maybe not going all the way and driving through Wonderboy. just testing to see where he can maybe get an easier takedown. A very intriguing matchup, but I think Bonfim's gonna probably fall into the trap of wanting to stand with Wonderboy because of the footwork and the speed. And Wonderboy fights out of range really, really well. He's super quick. That fight against Joaquin Buckley was a, I think Wonderboy just got matched up against someone that was determined to make his way to the top. Not that Bonfim isn't, but Bonfim isn't Joaquin Buckley. They're not on the same pedigree. So I think Bonfim is gonna get schooled here for 3 rounds. I'm gonna go with Wonderboy Thompson.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head with the takedowns, BG. But I personally do think that if it stays on the feet, one of them is also going to struggle. So I think he needs to wrestle to win this one because,
Yeah.
I mean, most guys, if they're going to stand with Steven Thompson, they're going to come with second best. And I'm hoping that we get to see Wonderboy in full flow here because it's a beautiful sight to behold when the man is in that flow state. So I'm hoping we get to see that. Needs to defend the takedowns again. But yeah, I'm unfortunately going to go the other way here, BG. I'm going to go with Bonfim for the win because I do think he's going to wrestle. And I just kind of, I'm getting shades of, I think it was Bilal Muhammad who held him down like that. I think Gilbert Burns did the same. So there are a few fighters who have done it before. And I think Bonfim's got enough to do that. But again, same as Derrick Lewis, I'm hoping that he can get it done because again, Wonderboy in full flight is amazing to see. So I'm hoping we get to see that one more time, if not, like hopefully one more time before he retires. So yeah, let's go Wonderboy. Let's
go.
I'll be putting a bet on that one. Derrick Lewis and Wonderboy for the win here. But don't take that one to the bank just yet, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, you can see me and BG are split here. So let us know your thoughts in the comments where you got here. BG, any final thoughts here?
No, I think it's a good co-main event. Actually, I think it's a good test for Bonfim, especially because of where the brothers are at and now they're coming up into the divisions. And I think it's a good test for him at this point in his career because Wonderboy is always going to be, well, not always, right? I think Wonderboy should have retired a long time ago, but I think since he's still there means that he's still going to be a chapter in the up and comers' life. So it's a good test for Bonfim, and I'm quite excited for that co-main event.
Bro, Wonderboy should go to one championship and do kickboxing there, bro.
Yo, you'll dominate.
I know they'll struggle to find a weight class for him, but maybe if he can go there and I don't know, do something to kind of revive a kickboxing welterweight. I know the weight classes aren't the same, so I don't know where you'll fall exactly.
You'll probably fall into lightweight kickboxing. So there'll probably be like Reagan also. You'll have to cut to like 165, 168. That's probably where he's gonna have to cut.
Yeah, and that's doable for him, I think. If he's cutting down to 170, and that would be amazing to see, bro. Wonderboy doing pure kickboxing, that would be fantastic, bro. Because I think, again, he does get nullified by the wrestlers, and it's kind of like it's like a wet blanket almost, and it spoils the party a little bit when that happens. So, yeah, Wonderboy, if you're listening, I still think there's a wonderful career for you in kickboxing. You are one of the greatest to ever do it. So maybe worth considering there. But let's go for Saturday. Wonderboy by decision over 3 rounds, I imagine, if he does get it done.
Okay, let's go.
But I'm going for Bonfim anyway. My heart is split. But yeah, I think that's about as much as I can say on that one, BG.
All right, let's keep it going then.
All right, then we'll go to some featherweight. And here we have Calvin Kattar coming up against Steve Garcia. Calvin Kattar is 23-9-0. He's got 11 wins by KO, 2 wins by sub, 10 first round finishes. He is on a 4-fight slide, BG. Last time out, he lost to Yusuf Zalal, where he was also accused of cheating by greasing himself. For him and Faraz Zahabi were in very much hot water after that one, but nothing seems to have come for it. He's coming up against Steve Garcia, who is 17-5. He's on a 5-fight win streak, so definitely contrasting fortunes here between the two fighters. Last 5 of his fights have all been wins by KO, and the last time he beat Carl Nelson in the very first round. So yeah, BG, very contrasting state of affairs here. Is it pretty much cut and dry that Steven Garcia is going to come out and knock Calvin Kattar out and possibly even end his career here, bro? What are your thoughts?
I want to believe that's gonna happen, but I think it's gonna be a match where it's gonna be risky for both guys purely because they're both boxing heavy. Right, both of them don't really want to go to the ground. It's not where they want to play their game. They don't even shoot for takedowns. Neither of them shoot for takedowns. They just like to stand and box. The Carl McCater fights out of that New England cartel. That's video boxing heavy gym. Steve Garcia, fight win streak, 5 knockouts. Also very boxing heavy. Doesn't really kick much. So I think that's what we're gonna see in this fight. And because that's gonna be the fight, I don't think it's as cut and dry for Garcia to win by knockout. Just because it's going to be a kind of fight that can allow either guy to land something big. Almakate, he's taller. Oh, no, he's not taller. That's interesting. Thought
That
he's
is
taller, but
very interesting, yeah. Because, I mean, look at the picture, bro. He looks like he's much taller than Steve
and
Garcia.
I've seen both these guys fight, and Garcia don't look like a 6 foot plus guy to me in featherweight. No, he's not. He's a lot
I
shorter
think
than
they're
that.
cooking the books here, bro.
Yeah, he's shorter than that. He's not that tall. So I think, and because Calvin Gate he's a tall featherweight. He's got some height on a lot of the guys. I mean, he towered over Max when Max fought him. So you know what I mean. He had more reach than Max. Well, everyone got more reach than Max, but I mean, he's a tall guy, right? So I think the fight style is just going to make them fight in the middle, and the one who dominates the jab, one who dominates the footwork, is going to get the one. It's going to open up the opportunities to land bigger shots, right? They're both going to fight out of the orthodox stance, so it's basically right hand versus right hand. Um, I want to go with Carl McGregor. I think his boxing's a little bit better, but I mean, dude, the guy's last 4 fights have not really been in his favor. Granted, he's been up against some top guys, right? But I mean, he went from fighting top 5 contenders, just being in the top 5, excuse me, and then after he lost to Max Holloway, he just went.
Yeah,
He just went down. Just went down.
Exactly.
Everyone beat him. Arnold Allen, Aljamain Sterling, all the guys basically just whipped his ass. So now I'm thinking Steve Garcia is the guy that's got the momentum, and that's making me go, okay, Garcia's gonna win the fight because he's got momentum. But I just think it's high risk, high reward because of they're both boxers, right? I think if Garcia maybe had some jiu-jitsu to his game, or he showed in the past that he can take it to the ground when necessary, I would have said, okay, Steve Garcia for sure. Right? Complicated, we know he doesn't wrestle, but he can take down defense. He can anti-wrestle a little bit. He's got some good coaching in his corner. But yeah, offensively, both these guys love to just go to the center of the octagon and throw their hands, and I think that's just going to make it 50-50 for me. I can't for sure say, okay, either one's going to win, purely because of that reason.
Yeah. I mean, it's just that meteoric fall that Calvin Keita has had. Because there was a time when people were talking about him as a possible champion, right? He was like a legitimate contender. So hopefully he can get back to winning ways here. But yeah, I mean, the form is a hell of a thing, bro, and it does affect your confidence out there. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Steve Garcia here, and I think he's gonna knock him out, bro.
Momentum, you have to go with the guy with momentum, in my opinion. Because like you say, like a lot of athletes say in any sport, confidence is everything. Like it gives you everything you need to perform at the peak level. And if you're in a 4-fight slide and you find you digging into your depths of your soul to find some kind of motivation to correct that, you know what I mean? I know that the 4 fights were against top 5, top 6 contenders of the featherweight division. I get that. But I mean, it's a 4-fight slide, right? And that can cut anyone's confidence down. Now you go up against someone that's on a 5-fight win streak, and this man is just hyped. He's realizing, okay, I'm on a 5-fight win streak. If I take out Calvin Keita, I go top 10. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot for Steve Garcia to go in there and just be hyper motivated to win the fight. And whereas Calvin Keita is like what's the word I'm looking for? He's like a wounded animal, man. You know what I mean? It's like Steve Garcia can really going to stand on his face if he wanted to, yeah, because this guy's really trying. That's the kind of I'm getting in this fight.
Yeah. I mean, you know, some guys are almost dangerous when they're wounded and backed up into a corner. So we'll see. Just one other thing you did mention, Aljamain Sterling. I just want to give a quick shout out to Ray Longo. Who's been very active communicating with us on X. Shout out to Ray Longo. So yeah, just wanted to give a quick shout out to the Godfather and the Don, and I remind you that we are the official Ray Longo fan club, and anything else is purely imitation. Drop a like on the video for Ray Longo, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. Let's keep it moving.
All right, we'll keep moving. And yeah, another featherweight bout here. We have Nathan Landwehr, who is 18-6-0. He's got 9 wins by KO, 2 by sub. Last time out, he lost to Doo-Hoo Choi by 3rd round KO. He's coming up against Morgan Charrier, who is 20-11-1. He's got 12 wins by KO. Last time out, he lost to Nathaniel Wood by unanimous decision.
Mhm.
So yeah, bro, BG, I know you have very, very kind of mixed feelings about Nathan Charrier. You kind of, I think the last time he fought, you mentioned that he kind of has this tendency to quit a little bit when he
Mm.
gets into a dogfight. So do you think Nate Landwehr is gonna be that guy to take him into those kind of waters where he does sort of get discouraged and kind of isn't able to perform to the best of his ability? Because he does have potential. He does have like good technique as a kickboxer.
Mhm.
And it's like that typical kind of French style, but I don't want to like tread the line of racism, but we know French fighters, bro. Once you get in their
Mhm.
face and you make things ugly, they do
Mhm.
have a tendency to quit. And you can roast me in the comments for that one, ladies and gentlemen, but
Mhm.
that has been shown to be true. So, BG, give us your thoughts on
Mhm.
this one, bro.
Absolutely, I agree with everything you just said there because he is a talented fighter. Morgan Charrier has got top talent. He can strike phenomenally, dude. But like I said, when you take him past that first round and you just weigh on him the whole time and you make it uncomfortable, this dude does have the tendency to kind of give you the win. He gives you the win. And I mean, same with Nathaniel Wood. If you watch that fight, we watched it together, I think it was a live we did together, and I said, if Nathaniel Wood take
Mm,
this man past the first round, he's got his number. He's not going to like it. And that's exactly what happened, because Morgan, I don't know. It's almost like he just goes, if I can't put you out in the first round, if I can't get you dominated in that first round, it's almost like his mind switches off because then it's like, oh, now I have to go for another 2 more rounds. I have to go for another 4 more.
mm,
Whatever that go. I get that vibe from him. I don't know. I could be speculating, but when I see a look in his face, I'm like, why does he look so like he doesn't smart to do this extra rounds? You just have to, bro. You know what I mean? You got to take the fight there. Nate Langwehr is that kind of fighter. He's a bulldog kind of guy. He's willing to take a punch to get in there and be in your face and throw elbows and take you down, and it makes it an ugly fight. Look, he lost to Duo Choi in his last fight. That was a wild exchange fight because they both knocked each other down. And eventually, Duo Choi started to take control round 2, round 3, and really started working his range and his speed and getting Nate out of there. But Nate Landwehr, he's the kind of guy that's going to stay. He's like a Drew Dober. He's cut from the same cloth, man. They're going to stay in your face. They're going to make it ugly. They'll do whatever they need to do to win the fight. They're not going to try and strike and be pretty with you or take you down and display good wrestling control. And they know they're going to treat it like it's an absolute war. And I'm going to take you down and smash you. Or if it's time to take you down, I'll clinch you up against the cage and drop elbows on you from there already. And I think that's the kind of fight style that Morgan doesn't like. You know what I mean? Morgan likes to fight where a fighter is willing to stand and bang with him, chase him around the octagon, and let him get into flow state. When Nate's not that
mm,
kind of guy, I think Nate's gonna, with experience, is gonna be the fighter to go, listen, get into his face, go hard in that first round, back up in the last minute and 30 seconds. If you didn't get him out of there and you recover that last minute 30 seconds, but you know that you can dominate him by staying in his face. He does tend to give up rounds when that happens. So I think as much as I want Morgan Charrier to go in there and prove me wrong. I want him to go and actually showcase why he's here in the UFC and why like they really put him on top cards. Um, I just think Nate Landwehr is going to try and nullify that, maybe beat him over 3 rounds, but just like grinding him out and making it an ugly fight, just grinding and grinding
mm,
him. Um,
mm,
'Cause, yeah, Mogochane doesn't often get knocked out, right? It's not a common thing we see, but
mm,
we see him get taken down and maybe lose by submission or maybe lose by being worn on for 3 rounds. I think
yeah.
that might happen. Yeah.
Yeah, he does. Again, he does have a tendency to quit, and I think his record speaks for itself, bro. 20-10, 20-11. Just
Mm,
lets you
mm,
know
mm.
that the inconsistency is there for everyone to see. So he loses one out of every 2 fights, and I think
There
that's
we go.
about right. And tells you exactly what you need to know about him. But again, the potential is there. He can be flashy and he can look
Yeah.
amazing on his night. But I don't know. I
Yeah.
think he's got the wrong one here, bro. I think he's
Yeah,
got the wrong
Nate's
one
a
against
pitbull,
Nate
bro.
Landwehr. Yeah,
Nate's a
yeah.
pitbull. He's gonna go at him. He's the 9 up, my bro.
Yeah. But yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, I don't see anything good happening for Nathan Cherry. And it could be recency bias, but yeah, we'll
Mm,
see on the night.
mm.
We'll see on the night.
Okay, let's keep it going.
All right, and then we'll go on back to the heavies now, and we have Vita
Mm,
Petrino, who is 12-2. He's got 7 wins by KO, 4 first-round finishes. He is, however, on a 2-fight slide. Last time out, he lost to Dustin Jacoby by third-round KO. He's coming up against Austin Lane, who is 13-6 and 11 wins by KO, 1 by sub, 9 first round finishes. Last time out, he beat Mario Pinto by KO in his last fight. So,
Did he?
another, I just have Mario Pinto by round 2
Oh,
KO.
sorry. No, he lost to Mario Pinto. He got KO'd in for the second round.
Well,
That's
there
my
we go.
mistake.
So yeah, both these guys on the slide here. I mean, it was 50-50 there, but I chose the wrong one. So, so unlucky there. But yeah, he did lose his last fight to Mario Pinto. Excuse me. So yeah, both of these guys on the slide here, BG,
Hmm.
is the heavyweight division. So I mean, as we go further down the heavyweight rankings, it's like if we don't get a first round finish, we could be in for a very boring,
Hello?
long, drawn out fight, BG. But yeah, for you, what are
Yeah.
your thoughts here, bro?
Yeah, I think this fight is for me is that kind of toss up. It's either gonna be a first round finish because of the styles, right? Patino is a heavy hitter, very aggressive puncher, right? We've seen him fight like that in the past. But we've also seen Patino get tired, and then that's usually happens after round one where he can't swing like the way he swing. And Dustin Jacoby exposed that. He was able to survive the onslaught in the first round, establish his jab and his deep kicks, and notice that Patino can't counter attack him anymore. He's got no more gas left. So you can kind of play with him in round two and round three because he has nothing after that, right? Austin Lane, excuse me, is more of the same, right? Win one, lose one, win one, lose one. And I mean, we've watched him now a few times, and our guy is just losing, bro. Our guy is just getting stopped. People are knocking him out, or he gets tired and he can't fight back after round two. So this fight is a very high risk of either a round one finish, probably in the lands of Vito Petrino, or it's going to be a 3 round slow jabbing, hooks punching, making sounds before the punches even come out. Pa, 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 pa. And it's just going to be very slow, and they might be even clinching up against the cage, and they'll take breaks there, and pepper some shots against the body and get a break, and they'll break up, and then they'll try and go again. Maybe another 20-second burst from one of the two guys. So that's the risk of this kind of matchup between these two athletes right now. But I'm gonna go and say what I want there to be, and I want it to be a high like stand and bank performance from these guys. I do think Austin Lane's striking is a little bit sharper. He does have a straighter angle in terms of how he throws his jab and his 1-2s. He boxes with shorter, but doesn't wind up as much. Whereas Petrino, he winds up those shots, right? He will jab here now and then, but he does tend to wind up and just slug something heavy at you. And um, I think that will put him at risk. Even though he's throwing a harder punch, I think that might put him at risk in a fight like this, where Austin Lane will have a little bit of a sharper shot. But Austin Lane is chinny, bruh. We've seen him get clipped so many times, and then he just gets knocked out so much. I can't wipe that. Image out of my mind of him getting knocked out so much. So I'm gonna go with Vito Petrino here for the win, whether it's decision or by finish.
Fair play, BG. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, again, one or the other year for me, first time KO,
Mm.
or it's just, I mean, everybody just picture your oldest uncles after
Yeah.
7 or 8 beers and they about to fight. It's gonna look something like that. So let's hope for an early one, yeah. But yeah, again, let us know your thoughts in the comments, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, we can move and we go to a light heavyweight bout here. We
Mhm.
have one of the Tougher brothers, Junior Tougher. The Tougher family still has not been banned from UFC events for some reason. Junior Tougher is 6-3. He's got 6 wins by KO, 4 first round finishes. Last time out, he beat Sean Sharaf by second round KO. He's coming up against Tuko Tokos, and that is his real name, if you can believe it, ladies and gentlemen. He's 10-5, and now he's got 6 wins by KO, 6 first-round finishes, but he is on a 2-fight slide. Last time out, he lost to Navajo Sterling by unanimous decision. So yeah, BG, another one for the Tougher boys. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts here, bro?
I actually don't know. I mean, you know where I stand when it comes to Duffer Brothers. There's no shade or hate on them. But I mean, like, they're usually paying these brothers to be in here, and they're taking beatings now. I'm not sure why this is happening. I feel like for the purpose of both entities, the UFC to maybe rather put that money into some athletes that can do something. For the Duffer Brothers, maybe go to an organization where you can maybe meet the match. You know what I mean? PFL or one or something like that. Because every time I put it on, I want to be hopeful for them, but then they're getting fucked every time, bro. And it's like, This is tough to watch. That's really tough to watch. Now he's taking on an opponent in Tuko Tokos, who is 2-0 in the UFC at the moment, right? And he's obviously looking to bounce back into the win column. He's a finisher. He's won most of his fights by finishes. I think we're going to see a finish in this fight. I don't know if it's going to go all the way. Junior Tough is either finishing fights or he's getting finished, right? So I think that's what we're going to see here. And if I must pick a winner, I'm going to go with Tuko Tacos because I just never bet on the Tafa brothers, and I'm going to stick by that.
That's
even though I
exactly
think,
it.
even though
We've
Tafa
lost.
might, but I don't know.
We've lost a lot of money betting on the tougher brothers here at Fighting with
Yeah.
Friends. So I'm fully on board with that. Bro. I don't bet on the tougher brothers, but me saying that now, he'll probably get the dub this weekend. So
You know what I'm
take that
saying?
as you want to, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, that
Yeah.
does round out the main card. I'm going to take it
Yeah.
to some honorable mentions now. We got Max Griffin coming up against Chris Curtis. Max Griffin is 20-11-0. He's got 9 wins by KO, 2 by sub, 7 first round finishes. On a 3-fight slide, last time out he lost to now commentator and pundit Michael Chiesa, who fights every 2 or 3 years. He's coming up against Sean Strickland's former best friend, Chris Curtis. Vastly experienced at 31-12. He's got 17 wins by KO, but he's also on a 2-fight losing streak. Last time out, losing to Roman Kopylov by 3rd round KO. So BG back to winning ways here for the veteran Chris Curtis, or is Max Griffin going to possibly retire the man here?
I don't know. I think both guys, if they lose here, will probably consider retirement, if I'm being honest. I didn't know that Chris Curtis and Sean Strickland are former friends. That's interesting. But I think in this fight, I think Chris Curtis has got the boxing advantage. He's got the reach advantage as well. Oh, he doesn't? Interesting. Max Griffin, I don't know. I thought this guy was also done. I didn't know. It blows my mind to see that these fighters are here. I really thought that Max Griffin retired a long, long time ago. But he's still here. And look, he was always a well-rounded athlete. That he was never really the dominant in something like, for example, discipline of striking or Muay Thai or, Jiu-Jitsu wrestling. He just was able to do all of it in a very competent way, and that made him a good fighter, but he was never really deadly in any shape or form. Chris Curtis has got great boxing, right? We know that. He can kick as well, doesn't really use it that much, but he does love to box. I think this fight's going to be that. I don't think that Max Griffin's going to be able to take Chris Curtis down, and that's why it's going to keep the fight standing. And if that's going to be the case, I do favor the fight in Chris Curtis's favor. He's going to be able to utilize his jab. His boxing combinations are really good. I think that's what's going to get him the win here. I don't know if there's going to be a stoppage. I think it's going to be a decision fight, if I'm being honest. So I'm going to go Chris Curtis to win by decision. But that's not a bad fight for the fight card, actually. Even though it's a bit of veterans. But yeah, I think whoever loses here is probably going to hang up the gloves.
Fair. I think that's a fair comment, yeah. But you can let us know your thoughts in the comments, ladies and gentlemen. Move to a welterweight fight now, and this one will round us out for the day. We got Jake Matthews, who is 21-7. He's got 6 wins by KO, 7 by sub. He's on a 2-fight win streak. Last time out, he beat Francisco Prado by unanimous decision. He's coming up against Chiri Bang Bang, Chiri Unjukuwane, who is 25-10. He's got 15 wins by KO, and he is on a 3-fight win streak. Last time out, he beat Elizu Zaleski dos Santos by 2nd round KO. So BG, win why here, bruh?
Great fight again for the welterweight division. I think Jake Matthews was, if I'm not mistaken, he was middleweight and then came down. His fight against Francisco Prado wasn't too bad. Francisco Prado was making it difficult for him, right? In this fight here, I wonder what he's going to do to get the dub, because Chidi Bang Bang is obviously looking phenomenal in welterweight. He's big for the division, obviously coming down the weight as well. Undefeated in the division at the moment. Great striker, very deadly. He's very sniper-like, not a lot of combinations, but when he does let his hands go, it's touching up the targets. Jake Matthews is going to have to deplete that gas tank in this fight. So he's going to have to utilize some wrestling, even early. Round 1, all wrestling. You tire out this man's arms. You make him work to get back to his legs, right? And then second round, you can start to bang with him a little bit, because now he's not going to be as fast. You just wear him down. I think that's going to be the game plan his coaches are going to tell him in this fight. A lot easier said than done, but this is going to be a fight for one to watch for the guys. And if you are going to tune into the prelims, ladies and gentlemen, this is actually a very good fight to watch. But I'm gonna go Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I think he's stronger. I think he's more dynamic. He's more athletic as well. Obviously, doesn't have the same pedigree in terms of the wrestling side, but I think his takedown defense was quite good in the middleweight division. I think it's much better here because he's obviously a lot bigger and stronger than some of the guys in the welterweight division. So I think he's going to utilize his frame, a frame north, and not really giving the hips to take him down. And that's going to result in a stand-up fight where Chitty Bang Bang is going to be in the advantage. Reach, power, distance management, everything is there. So I think Chitty Bang Bang for the win.
Nicely done, BG with the X's and O's, and drop a like on the video for BG's in-depth analysis, ladies and gentlemen, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. But yeah, that rounds out UFC's Fight Night, Lewis versus Teixeira, quite nicely for us, BG. And as always, we go to some final thoughts and a pre-fight rating for the card, please, sir.
Okay, yeah. Okay, initially I wasn't too amped for the fight card, but then when I was going through the notes and looking at some of the fights, even from the prelims, they're not too bad, right? So I'm gonna give them 6 just because there are some good names. I'm not hopeful that it's gonna go higher than that, but if it does, I'm not gonna be surprised either because, like I said, there are some wonderful names in there. I mean, Wonderboy Thompson, come on, it's a legend of the game, so we wouldn't want to tune in for that, right? Even the Black Beast, we wouldn't want to tune in for that, and yeah, so I'm gonna go 6.5, and I'm looking forward to seeing what that result looks like come this weekend.
Yeah, look, ordinarily I would give this about a 3.5 to a 4, but I think because it is a fight night card and considering the quality of the fight night cards we've had lately, I'm going to push it up to a 5, but that's not because of the quality of the card, it's just in comparison to the other cards we've been having. So I'm going to give it a 5, hoping it will go up, but I'm not too optimistic, especially if Wonderboy and Derrick Lewis don't win. I'm probably going to push this card down to a 1 with a post-fight rating. But yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comment. Give us your post-fight pre-fight score for the card, pre-fight rating. BG, give us some final words and then we can wrap it up, bro.
Yeah, final words. Just many thanks again for everybody that's tuned in so far. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. And like I said, the big one for me is just like, let's keep the comments going. Let's keep the chatter going because we are moving into positions where we're going to move into episodes where we can have you guys join us as we break down cards, recap cards, and we can have a nice banter. Correct us on our hot takes, challenge us if we're saying anything. It'll be a lot of fun. So that's what we're looking forward to. So yeah, thank you for support.
Yeah, give thanks, BG. And yeah, again, just emphasis on that comments. We are trying to build a community here and we've been very happy with some of the interaction that we've been receiving lately. So yeah, just thank you all so much once again, ladies and gentlemen. Like, subscribe, share, all those good things. But most importantly, have a wonderful day. And we'll see you next time, ladies and gentlemen. Bye, everybody.